What's up? What's happening? Hope all is well with everybody. Thoughts of a Predicate winner back at you with another one. And last week, Friday namely, I reacted to a good bit of country, man. A little bit of that boppy 808 hip hop / country. You know what I mean? And it was well received. So I figured, you know what, man? Let's keep diving into this water, man. We got some new Oliver Anthony, I think that's his name. You know I'm selling my soul for McDonald's pay. That guy, killer. Love him. I love that song. But that's all I've heard from him, really, to be honest. So I'm kind of excited to get into something else. Figure out, is this dude a one-hit wonder, or does he got some more magic in the chamber, in the tuck? And I know a lot of y'all are probably screaming at the computer screen right now or at your phone screen, and you're saying, Nelson, he has like 17 slaps. I ain't know, dog. I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. This is going to be, I think this is the second song I've heard from him. I don't think I've heard nothing else from him other than It's a Dang Shame. And that song slaps. That was a really good song. And it's not even that the song slaps. It's just, I tell y'all all the time that I'm kind of a sucker for if it pulls on my heartstrings and it makes my soul bleed, you win me over. You create replay value. And you in that song, I don't know about nothing else. In that song, you can hear the pain in his vocal cords. That's some serious ish, bro. When you can hear somebody's pain through their vocal performance, you know it's real. You know that you got that relatability thread that I'm always in search for. That's what I should honestly name my page that. We looking for relatability threads or something like that. But it is, man. I'm always in search of that as a music head, as a hip hop head, as a Christian that wants that Holy Spirit to wrench my soul and feel something. I fiend for it. And that's, partly because I'm a recovering drug addict, and that addiction needs to be satisfied in some way, shape, or form. A lot of times I do it through exercise, running, whatever, but sometimes you just got to feel some pain for no reason. And that pain can help put you in a better place if you find the relatability thread to it, and it can help propel you to better places. It's been a long time since I've had like something new come out that really drenched me like that. So if anybody can do it, it's my man Oliver Anthony. So let's give this one a shot. This is his new one, and it's called Mama's Been Hurtin'. So, yeah, maybe we can get something here. All right, winners, Hill Squad, everybody out there. Shout out to Hangover Gang if y'all are in here. Shout out to the Goon Squad if y'all are in here. Let's see what he's talking about here, man. Hey. Hey. I like the chords. I like the chords that he's choosing. What does that sound like whenever that opens up, man? That reminds me of something. The chords alone are painful.
Mama's been hurting. Daddy's been down. Ain't nobody been working since the mail hole left town.
Stop it. Bro, how does he, like, if you can imagine being in a park, or y'all remember how he was discovered? He was just like a nobody, like just on the side of the road. Like, not a nobody, but a nobody in terms of like solidification, star power, musicianship. Like, nobody knew who this guy was, and he's just like in a park somewhere. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, the dude's vocal performance is insane. Mama's been hurting. Ooh, woo. Yeah.
Mama's been hurting. Daddy's been down. Ain't nobody been working since the mail hole left town. They got got two youngins not 10 years old, with $200 left in his billfold, and a week's worth of groceries is the price of gold when your whole damn country's been bought and sold. Never there's been hard times, it's always made hard folks who could get her to the other side and not let it be all she wrote. I'd love to live to be an old man, but God, you can take me a young one. Just don't let the land I love die so young. Of thee I sing.
It feels like you shouldn't pause it anywhere, man, so I'm just going to pause it right here. What this is reminiscent of to me in my life is, remember I tell y'all, search for the relatability thread, but what this is reminiscent to me in my life is there was a time around 2010 where everything shifted. You know what I mean? Like, it was a major life shift. And who I was at 19, 20, 21 years old was just like, we rolling with it. We rolling with the punches. So my girlfriend at the time, who is my wife now, at one point in time, she lived in this apartment complex in Savannah, and I was staying at, I was choosing to be a part of street culture, and I was living amongst street dudes, you know, and I kind of needed to get away from that, and I knew it. And her mom was kind of putting in the air like a smell of, dog, you gonna leave that alone if you're gonna be with her. And it just, there was a lot of prayer involved, I think, on the back end, like with my mom, her, like my girl's mom, wife at the time, or wife now. And a major momentum shift happened where they had to move because her mom had lost her job, and Lindsay had just graduated high school, and her mom had to go live in Metter with her ex-in-laws family. And my girl was trying to go to college. So what we did, which I don't recommend anybody do, but before we got married, we moved in together. And at first it wasn't terrible. You know what I mean? Like I was working at like a car wash, and I was able to make enough money to at least hold down the fort. And I looked out for us. That was for about 6 months. And then everything started to come full circle. I got arrested for the first time. And once I got arrested for that first time, and then they literally would play games with your freedom, bro. Like, they would roll dice every 2 weeks. They would roll dice to see who in these meetings that you had to go to would have to do a drug test. It was crazy, but I couldn't smoke weed, and that's all I did up until that point. It was just, I mean, I did, well, I shouldn't say that's all I did. I did pills and stuff too, but the main thing that I enjoyed at that point in time was weed. And once that was stripped from me, that's when, like, oh, now I need these pills all the time, which, you know, turned into one thing that turned into another thing that turned into another thing. That car wash didn't work out. I got caught doing something that I shouldn't have done. Got let go. And after that, dog, I mean, we're talking about, you know, Obama's first era, that, like, major recession issues, like couldn't find a job anywhere. And I was in a small college town, so they gave the jobs that I was capable of doing to college students. They got first dibs on stuff like waiting tables, car washes, stuff like that. So I could not find a job, bro. I couldn't. I looked everywhere. It was literally like my destiny to not find work. And in all honesty, I just, you know, I just started diving into those pills and diving into hanging out with these outlaws because they would look out for me. They would take care of me and they would make sure that I was fed. So those became the people that I hung out with, which is generally like country's version of street culture. You know what I mean? It was like, so I went from hanging out with street dudes to hanging out with outlaws. All the while my wife's going through school, she's working, she found a job because like I said, they give jobs to the students. And she was able to kind of take care of me during that point in time, but I was getting locked up like every other month. I was in it deep. I was like neck deep in ish all the time. I put her through immortal hell. I don't know why she stayed with me even through that, and things only got worse later down the line. But during that point in time, I remember having the sentiment that Oliver Anthony has here, where it's like, dog, I want to be old, but like I would rather die young than have to live my life like this forever. Like, you know what I mean? It's awful. I don't want to have to do this forever. And it was years. It was like 6 years of this, of me not being able to hold anything down. And if I did get a job somewhere, I would ruin it. I would mess it up in some way, shape, or form, because I was a drug addict, but I didn't know I was a drug addict yet, you know? So I had major behavioral problems. I'm hanging out with outlaws in my spare time, which is all the time. And I'm in and out of jail all the time. And, you know, they did take care of me. They made sure that, you know, if I needed something to eat, I was fed. They made sure that I had, you know, the drugs that I wanted. They in their mind, they were taking care of me. They were taking care of me and making sure that I was straight. So I had an appreciation to them. I still do to this day in a weird, twisted way. Like my heart still goes out to them. I still got love for them. If I saw them today, it would be, what's up? How are y'all? There's no ill will. I just had to remove myself as time went by, and I ended up getting clean. But this is very reminiscent of that day. And my mama, boy, my mama was hurting during that point in time, man. And she kept telling me, like, you need to be living here with me and not with your girlfriend. And I was telling her, like, I'm getting married to her and I'm going to live with her and it is what it is. But because of that, God was not blessing our relationship. Me and her were butting heads all the time. We didn't agree about anything. There were a lot of times in those days where I would just break down crying and I would just, you need to leave me. I am never going to be what you want me to be, ever. Leave. She wouldn't. It is what it is. But here we are, you know, with 2 kids, and I am who she wanted me to be. So it worked out. But and that's the foresight. Like, hindsight is 20/20. The foresight is that God has a plan for you, and you need to stick to the plan. And even when you're going through the hardships and you're going through the trials and you're feeling like Oliver Anthony is feeling in this song, you can eventually make it to the other side of that, and it's a better place. And then it all kind of starts to click and make sense. Now, I completely, total, and utterly understand why I had to go through everything that I've been through. Some people never really find that sense of serenity whenever it comes to like your past, the trauma that you put on others, and the trauma that was, you know, induced on you. Some people never really get to that stage where they can come to peace with that, but I am at total peace with it. Completely understand why I had to go through those things, but everybody's not so fortunate and lucky to find that kind of peace. And I understand that, but I do think that that's something that the Holy Spirit has blessed me with. So let's continue to dive into this a little bit further, man. This is good, man. But I just wanted to kind of mirror what this is making me feel, like where this is taking me to, which is good. I mean, music is supposed to be time travel, and it's good to go back to those times, even when they're ugly. Because if you could go back to the times even when they're ugly and you can remember what you've been through, it can also help put an appreciation factor into where you are today. This is fire. Vocal performance is crazy. The guitar riff, everything is crazy.
I've been flying low in my troubled mind. Get to digging me a hole.
Yes, sir.
My soul can't climb.
Get to digging me a hole that my soul can't even find. That's deep.
It's the end of the world. Nobody knows. Is They all just stare at the trash on their phones in a land that's littered with many men's bones who died fighting for somewhere they could call home. Whenever there's been hard times, it's always made hard folks who could get her to the other side.
Let's go.
And not let it be all she wrote.
This is fire, bro. This is fire. This is so well written. Like, it takes you to that time, makes you time travel to maybe some of the worst moments in your life to bring you to a point where he's trying to express the same sentiment that I was expressing just a few minutes ago, where let it not be all she wrote, because hard times create hard people that can get us to the other side. Sheesh. He's spitting.
Love to live to be an old man, but God, you can take me a young one. Just don't let the land I love die so young.
Come on, baby.
Of thee I sing.
Oh. You hit me with the violin at the end too, dog. Sheesh. I love everything about this, y'all. Everything. This was really good, man. It brought me to my worst, well, not my worst, but it brought me to some of the worst, one of the worst times in my life, and made me reminisce on that, which brought me a sense of gratitude to where I am today. And then the second verse takes me to a place of grit, where it's like remembering what you had to do to get to the other side, and remembering that that's a possibility, and that sometimes God will put you through the ringer just to toughen you up so that you can lead people to the other side. This was fire. And the chords that he was playing, I'm not too technical. I'm way more technical about hip hop than I am about country. But the chords that he was playing were crying. You know what I mean? The chords he was playing were emotional. And his voice, boy, mama's been hurting. And it's like, that's the beginning of the story, you know? Mama's been hurting. Here's why. God, the one that punches you in the face the most is, God, take me. I would love to be an old man, but take me young, because I'd rather go young than to see this land that I love go before me. Whew, that's some deep-ish. And and even in the midst of this song just makes me more grateful for where we are today. I think that we have a real shot and a real opportunity under the right leadership to get us to a better place now. But think about if it didn't go that way, this song would be ringing off a lot more in a lot of people's hearts. It would be more popular if it went the other way, and that's why, because people would be finding that relatability thread easily through this song. But it's still a good song, even when the sentiment doesn't reflect where I think we are right now. That's fire, bro. I love it. Oliver Anthony, this was amazing, bro. This was amazing, and you're an amazing artist. That's 2 for 2. He's really, really dope with it. All right, man. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to click that subscribe button for me on your way out. I'm getting real close to 5. I'm getting real close to 5,000. And when I hit that 5,000 mark, I got some really dope stuff that I'm working on in the background that I want to bring to the forefront, but I'm waiting until we get there, and it's going to be a celebratory moment. I hope I can celebrate that with you guys. Only way I can do so is if you hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of it whenever that day comes. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see y'all on the next one. All right. Peace.